know, this is Grandmaster Gary Fassi Fontaine with another episode of MMA Power Talk. Sport Karate Illustrated at the Dojine. Teaching people things that, man, you maybe not aware of, but you will be. Today we're going all the way back to the days when men were men, when fighters were fighters, where you actually had to hit the person to get a point. In addition to that, this gentleman here was like a superhero to me. Man, you know, I was a mere mortal. This guy was walking around like Superman. And anyhow, the bottom line is that there's different forms of martial arts, and there's different people who represented it. But this gentleman here is on my 300 because he literally leads by example. We're going to hear a lot of stuff about not just him and his son. He's on a tight schedule, so I'm going to get directly to the point. Now, if I pronounce his name wrong, if he hits me, I'm going to sue you. You guys will be my witnesses. This is Sijo, Abdul, Mutakabirr. Are you there, sir?
I'm there, good brother. How you doing?
Was that close enough?
Brother, you're a beautiful brother. I always love your spirit, man, and your energy. You know.
Well, I appreciate.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, and I would have to say that having a conversation with you and knowing that I'm one of those few people that make you smile, well, I feel warm and fuzzy about that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I just want to begin by saying, brother, you know, I thank the Creator for blessing me to be alive in this day and time in the state of mind that I am of a positive individual, and I thank the Creator for blessing me to be able to communicate with a person like you with a positive mind in this day and time. There's so much different anarchy and corruption and ignorant individuals that's doing so many diabolical things. So it's truly an honor.
It's a blessing. Thank you. Thank you for those kind words. Since this is not about me, it's about you, so I want to find out because I'm really curious, and we want to know, in the beginning, was it motivation, desperation, inspiration when you actually started in martial arts? So if you give me when you started and what motivated you or inspired or what have you to do it and what style it was. So let's talk about the beginning.
Well, I started training in martial arts when I was about 11 years old, between 10 and 11 years old, and growing up in 267 West 118th Street in Harlem. This was a time when, you know, the only communication was with your knuckles, and, you know, and you had to have heart. So, you know, you had to bow your fist up, you had to fight your way from going to school and coming back home. So my father was a professional fighter, so he was taught us how to defend ourselves. So it was times, sometimes during those days when I fought sometimes 1, 2, 3, 4 times a day, and this is without exaggeration. So during one particular episode in a fight, I had gotten a situation with this particular friend of mine who later on became a professional boxer during the same time of Sugar Ray Leonard and Hagler and Hearns when they were champions. He was also an upcoming champion. And me and this guy, we grew up and we fought that particular day, and he kind of got a blowing a little bit when my father grabbed me. So I got hot. So my father took me upstairs, and so I always wanted to get this guy back. So at that time, my sister, she was dating this particular individual that was an exterminator, and he was exterminating the house, and I was so hot, and the guy, he gave me some wisdom about, you know, spirituality, but I didn't really want to hear it at the time. And so he said, have you ever heard of karate? I said, karate? I said, karate's for girls. You kick and punch. I don't want to know no karate. I said, I want to just box. They said, well, you know, I got a karate school, and maybe, you know, I'll take you for a ride one day, and you can come see what we do. So he took me for a ride, and it was up in Queens, and I was up in Harlem, and I just wanted to get in the car just to be able to, you know, take a ride in the car because, you know, in those days, my family was poor. We was happy just, you know, just to get on the bus. So when we took this ride, he took me into this place called the dojo, and we sat down, and I watched these individuals come out with these white uniforms on, and they all made this particular motion and of courtesy and respect. So I say us, and they all just had this disciplinary mode, and it like sent chills throughout my spine. I said, wow, I want to learn this. So I sit there and looked at it, and I watched that class for a while, and that was basically the last I seen of that. So then what happened was I had was always intrigued with that. So my family, again, like I said, we were poor, so I went down 42nd Street one day, and I liberated 2 books. You know, that's a nice way of saying, you know what I mean? I don't want to say what I said. But I liberated 2 books called This is Karate and The Way of Karate. And I took these 2 books home, and I got
wait, we got to backtrack that. We got to backtrack that. He was so hungry for the knowledge that he had to do a magical act. And then let me just interject for a second, only because we want to make sure that we at least dot some I's and cross some T's. So I didn't know you was originally from Harlem. I'm from Spanish Harlem. I'm from an I-19 between 2nd and 3rd. Renegade of Harlem, you know. So that's where I'm from originally. And then we moved up to a better neighborhood called the South Bronx. But so who is this person? You got me intrigued. You got this cliffhanger. You went to this karate school. Whose school was it? Do you remember?
I don't remember because I was too young at the time. I don't
remember his
name. You know what I mean? I wish I did. I seen him one time in a tournament at a long time ago at one of the great masters that passed. I forgot that particular person's name too that passed. I think it was.
Wow.
I think it was what was his name? An individual in Philadelphia. It was his name, Collie Griffin. Collie Griffin, when she was at Collie Griffin.
Oh, my God, Collie Griffin. Rest in peace to Collie Griffin. Oh, that was one of my people, Kaju Kembo and Kembo. Oh, man.
Yes, sir. And we spoke.
All right.
Right.
Yeah, let me just shut up. By the way, if you don't hear me, because I put myself on mute, you know, because I don't want to interject, but, man, that's a wonderful story. You liberated the 2 books. Continue.
Yeah, I liberated these 2 books. And I just basically studied them, and I mimicked the illustrations of the books over and over and over again. And it's plate glass windows to the point where, I basically really believed that I became one of the illustrations. You know, animation of one of the illustrations through my spirit. You know, so I truly believe became a karate man because I had no one to teach me. And then eventually, what had happened, I begged my family so much that my mother seen I was very serious with this, so she gave me $100, and I went and took this $100, no, she didn't give me $100. I'm sorry, my older brother gave me $100, and I took this $100 and I went and I joined Master Henry Cho's school on 23rd Street on 8th Avenue when he was back there, Master Henry Cho. So I trained with Julio LaSalle and those guys. Way back then, I was still about 14 years old, and I only could stay for 1 month. So I just remembered everything he taught me and studied from these 2 books and so forth. And then eventually I used to go to my clubhouse and where all my friends was, and I used to lock the door and tell them, well, everybody want to get out, they got to fight their way out. So I wanted to try to see if this stuff really worked. So I used to do my martial arts with my friends to the point where they got so sick of me that they started getting guys that really knew how to fight in the martial arts and so forth to basically come challenge me. So I used to fight these guys all the time. So I used to basically just have a lot of fights in Harlem. I mean, 25, 50, hundreds of fights throughout the years. This lasted almost from 13 to about 15. And then one day, I met an individual they brought to the clubhouse. This guy had bell-bottom shoes on, square-tip shoes, bell-bottom pants, and an afro. And he was a short guy, and he came in real humble. And so I was a little arrogant by then because I believed in my martial arts was supreme, what I've learned and so forth. Because I was already a fighter, so I believed I was a good fighter. So he came to my clubhouse, and he had basically, he asked me certain questions and so forth. He said, you know how to kick? I said, yeah, I know how to kick, which is a crazy kick I created. He said, you know how to do form? I said, yeah, I know how to form. Some crazy form I created. You know how to break? I said, I know how to break. And so I was breaking boards. Anyway, so he said, well, let me see when you kick. I did some more crazy kicks. So as I did it, he threw a side kick and threw it to my neck and held the kick out. And my heart just jumped because the only one I ever seen do a kick like that was Bruce Lee. Oh, my God, this guy's a real martial artist. And he said, you do any form? So slowly but surely I was losing more confidence in myself. And I said, yeah, I did a form. So I did some more crazy form. And then he did this beautiful form. I said, wow, this guy's awesome. And so then he said, do you break? At that time, I lost doubt. I said, I break a little bit. So he said this cinder block. He said, well, I'm going to break.
Wait a minute.